and welcome. Now today I thought I'd talk briefly about Lambda sensors, because in the Rover K series engines they are likely to fail at some point. But you know, they're likely to fail in any engine, so let's not pick on them, shall we? If you look down there below the alternator next to the pre-cut, you can just about see it lurking about. Now these things can be quite tricky to remove. Due to all that heat from the pre-cut, the thing gets kind of almost semi-welded into place. I mean, it's not welded at all because that's utter nonsense, but with rust and heat it becomes very, very stuck indeed. So they can be tricky to get off. So I'm going to show you a way to do it where it's an absolute doddle. Now what you need is some of this stuff. Obviously that's WD-40, but you can use any kind of lubey stuff, and one of these adapters, a special sensor remover. These can be a bit awkward because they bend a bit as you stick it around the sensor, because the metal's not very thick. I can almost feel I can squash it with my fingers. We still have the issue of it being a bit awkward to get to, never mind get off. But you know, I have a nice easy solution to this. Yeah, just take the whole pre-cat off the exhaust manifold and bung it in the vise. There we go. That's how easy it is. It couldn't really be any easier at all, could it? There. And then simply stick it in a bag and send it to South Wales. Not South Wales, West Yorkshire. Just as well I checked the address, isn't it? Anyway, the reason I've taken that off is because I've had a young man pestering me about it. Well, there you go, Jamie. And here's your instruction video too, before you start asking me how you do it, alright? Eh? And now for something completely different. Got to get this ZS sold. It's just ridiculous how nobody's wanted to come along and buy this. So I'm going to give it an extra push today. Now this MG ZS is a very, very nice little blue car, and I just don't understand why no one has come along and bought the thing. I haven't even had any inquiries yet, at least none that are serious, because it's been stood in the yard for a little while. It's now got a bit dirty, but you can still see how gleaming the thing is, and besides these couple of scuffs like that, it really is a very, very fine example of a car. So if you want a proper closer look at it, have a look at the walk around video, because there's no point in me doing the whole thing over again, is there? Because you're only going to see the same thing with all exactly the same information. Now, as I've priced this car at £1,200, it really isn't cheap, but you know, that will come with a full MOT and the head gasket's been done and everything. So it's, you know, I mean, it's not cheap because it's good. That's the point. You get a good car for the money, not an expensive one. Come on, somebody just buy the thing. I can't continue this business without selling these cars, so just come and buy it. Come on! What are you waiting for? Right, it's time for another cup of pasty. This time it's ham and cheese, and I need to eat them because I've got today's date on. Eating out of date pasties that Aldi recommends that you don't warm up in the microwave from a cup. I really am living the dream. Now the contents does kind of spill out into the bottom of the cup, so I've taken to flipping it straight into its original tray. And the tray's melting, so I could get some sort of chemical poisoning from that. Now, there's no mention of that on the packaging, does there? It doesn't say don't put your piping hot pasty back in the tray where you got it from, because you could get some sort of chemical leakage. Just been to the post office with these two items and it was closed, which means I've got to go back up there again. That's not interesting, but it is irritating because that's another 20 minutes or so used up for just a couple of tiny items. So if I look annoyed, it's because I am. and suddenly the video was over without any kind of explanation. It was just finished. Sorry about that. It's me about one going on and on and on. Have you got it? Have you got one? Have you got one or not?